I feel like as football fans today, we all woke up to some heartbreaking news. Diego Jota and his little brother Andre passing away. My thoughts and my prayers go out to all their loved ones because I can't imagine, I genuinely can't fathom the idea of bearing witness to losing a loved one. Whether it's his mum losing her two sons, his partner losing her husband, his kids losing their dad. For somebody that was married 5 to 7 days ago, I can't imagine the pain, what they're going through. And I genuinely hope and pray they get all the time and all the support. And I feel like sometimes for us, even as football consumers, it reminds us to always treat footballers, treat people that we sit down and consume their content, whether it's football entertainment, whether it's Netflix, whether it's a TV show, to always treat people with respect, because there's no guarantee. There's no guarantees in life. And I feel like this even applies to us, our loved ones, our family members. There's no guarantee you will see this person tomorrow. There's no guarantee you as a person will go to bed and wake up tomorrow. And I feel like sometimes we definitely take these things for granted. We definitely take them for granted. And because of that, always cherish every moment. Life is temporary. Don't focus on the things that don't require your time. Focus on showing your love to your family members, to your siblings, to your friends, being a good human being, helping one another, showing one another the bare minimum, which is a high level of respect. And I feel like sometimes we take these things for granted and we start to focus on things that are not as important. But my condolences goes out to the Jott family. My thoughts and prayers go out to every single one of them. Genuinely heartbreaking news. Like, it's rocked me since the morning. And I'm just a football consumer. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know them personally. I'm just a football consumer. I've built a connection with them based on what I watch on the television, based on when I watch Liverpool. And that news has rocked me. So because of that, I can't imagine what his family members, what his loved ones are going through. But once again, my condolences goes out to anybody connected to the Jota family. So with Juventus securing the signature of somebody like Jonathan David, ever since that breaking news came out yesterday, I've been sat thinking, how would Juventus set up next season? Especially when you bear in mind all the reports that have been coming out as of late are the Jonathan David deal has nothing to do with the Kolo Muani deal. The Jonathan David deal has nothing to do with the Victor Osimhen deal. And Juventus won Victor Osimhen. Apparently, it's being reported that Napoli have given Osimhen a deadline. By this day, I believe it's the 14th of this month, you need to make up your mind as to whether or not you're open to a switch to Juventus. So if Juventus do get Victor Osimhen, surely they're not paying somebody like Jonathan David 6 million a season to sit on the bench. And it made me sit on the internet and start browsing. Start doing some extra research because I was like, are Juventus about to deploy a two-striker system in a 3-5-2 Igor Tudor football? No, not really, but maybe it could happen. But then I was doing some research and I came across a few things which surprised me. Now, let's just put it out there. I don't really sit down and watch Canada play international football, okay? Don't hate me, but I don't. But I realised the way Canada's set up under Jesse March, they like to deploy a two-striker system. If not, one number 9, one roaming number 10. I believe Jonathan David tends to lead the line with Temi Oluwaseni. You guys know who I'm talking about. Temi Oluwaseni. He leads the line with him. He's the more focal point number 9. Jonathan David plays in behind. You guys seeing what I'm trying to tell you? Okay. Let me give you guys another example. Canada came up against the USA. They deployed a 4-2-3-1. Jonathan David was playing in that roaming number 10. When Lille won the French league, I believe in 2020-2021, Jonathan David was playing up front with Burak Yilmaz. He might just be a two-striker player. And I believe in that campaign, he scored a lot of goals. They went on to win the league. And even when you look at, for example, this goal between him and Burak Yilmaz, you could see they both set up in that central area. Burak Yilmaz drags himself to the halfway line, dragging a centre-half with him, creating space in behind for Jonathan David to run in behind. A split striker system. One drops deep, the other one runs in behind. So my question to everybody is Damien Comolli's long-term vision, long-term goal, because we've seen Igor Tudor deploy the 3-5-2 at Hellas Verona. is it to deploy a two-striker system? And if it's not a two-striker system, is it to deploy a 3-4-2-1 with Kenan Yildiz on the left-hand side, Jonathan David on the right-hand side, and Victor Osimhen leading the line? Because if Juventus in a month's time start the Serie A campaign with that trio in attack, 50 steps in the right direction. You've got technical security, you've got player versatility, you've got goal scorers, you've got playmakers. You've genuinely got yourself a trio which every team in the Serie A would fear, because it's got it all. It's physical, it's technical, it scores goals, it creates opportunities, it presses from the front. Like we all know, Kenan Yildiz presses from the front. Victor Osimhen is one of the best pressing strikers in the world, in my opinion. And Jonathan David, he does his fair share of work. Is this Comolli's vision? Is this Igor Tudor's vision? Now, of course, Juventus can also deploy a 3-5-2. Go with 3 midfielders. Maybe it's an opportunity to give somebody like Kenan Yildiz a rest. Similar to what we saw under Allegri. 3-5-2, 3 midfielders. It was Chiesa and Vlahovic, but this time it could be Osimhen and Jonathan David. But once again, because their profiles are so different, Jonathan David, the one that drops deep, Osimhen runs in behind. It could even be Jonathan David, Kenan Yildiz, Osimhen, Kenan Yildiz. I feel like it will help Tudor, and even if Tudor is not here in 12 months' time, whoever the future coach is, when you've got yourself players that are versatile, that can play in a variety of different ways, it opens the door to so much tactical flexibility. Like, you could genuinely go into every game with different setups to keep the opposition thinking, to keep them guessing, what Juventus am I coming up against? Oh, Kenan is on the left, David's on the right. It's Osimhen. At half time, it's just Osimhen and David, because Douglas Luiz has come onto midfield. This is what every coach in the world wants. And that's why when I do look at the Victor Osimhen links, I'm like, is this Juventus' vision? But even if they don't get Victor Osimhen, I do look at it and say, Kolo Muani. Now, I said this after Juventus' first game in the Club World Cup. Kolo Muani having a good Club World Cup is probably the worst thing that could have happened for Juventus. They probably would have wanted him to go into the Club World Cup, stink it out, because that way, nobody would want him. Nobody would want him. It's now being reported Chelsea are looking at him. Some more clubs across Europe are also looking at him. They've just sat down and watched him in the Club World Cup. Yes, Juventus have been knocked out, but I feel like he could definitely leave with his head held high. Besides that one miss against Real Madrid, he showed, I can run you channels, I can hold you the ball, I can score you goals, I can press from the front. I'm very versatile. And maybe, just maybe, if Juventus still don't get Victor Osimhen, maybe the long-term goal would be Jonathan David, Kolo Muani, Kenan Yildiz in attack. And once again, that's a far better improvement, because the profiles, they're very similar. Jonathan David, he's the one that drops deep. Kolo Muani can be the one running in behind, because Kolo Muani for me is physically more gifted than somebody like Jonathan David. Jonathan David for me is relatively slow. Like, he isn't the fastest of players. Kolo Muani is fast. He's strong. He can be the one that runs the channel, that runs in behind. Jonathan David and Kenan Yildiz roaming in that central area. Like, it's an improvement. I'll be honest with you guys. Juventus going into next season, Jonathan David, Kolo Muani and Kenan Yildiz is far better than Juventus going into next season. Jonathan David, the number 9, Kenan Yildiz, and then one of Nico Gonzalez or Coop Miners in attack. It's a far better improvement. And finally, to wrap up this video, let's talk about some outgoings. Dusan Vlahovic, Douglas Luiz, Nico Gonzalez, Francisco Conceição. Now, let's just start off with Francisco Conceição. It's being reported that Juventus want to take Conceição on a 1-year loan with an obligation to buy of 28 million, but Porto are demanding 28 million now. They don't want to do 1 more year of loan. They don't want to do an obligation to buy. You either take him now or you don't. In my opinion, I don't think he's worth it. Anybody that's watched me long enough would know my opinion on Conceição. I truly don't think he's worth it. But if he was to come, I would definitely rather see Conceição start over somebody like Nico Gonzalez. I'm still of the mindset I would rather see Conceição start over somebody like Coop Miners. I would rather see Conceição start, funnily enough, ahead of somebody like Jadon Sancho. Okay? But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think he's worth it. I don't think he's that good, okay? But that's the situation, what's going on with Conceição. Then you got Dusan Vlahovic. It's being reported that Juventus want to offer him a very similar deal to what Napoli offered Osimhen last year, which is your final year. We're going to give you a 1-year extension just so we can split your yearly wages over 2 years now. I'll be honest with you guys. I feel like Vlahovic agreeing to this is him doing a favour for Juventus. And based on how he's been performing as of late, from liking social media posts to his attitude on the pitch, I don't think he's willing to do that. And I feel like it prolongs the inevitable. It prolongs what Dusan Vlahovic truly wants, which is to leave Juventus as a free, have the luxury to sign for any club in the world, and get that signing bonus. He's practically now signing a 1-year extension. And I feel like where it's different with Vlahovic and Victor Osimhen, Osimhen, after this 1-year extension with Napoli, he still had admirers across the world. Like, look at how many teams, as of now, still want Victor Osimhen, and they're still willing to pay what Napoli want. I don't think that's the case with Vlahovic. Fair enough, you split his wages over two, so financially, in terms of the financial books, it helps Juventus, but you're still going to have the same issue in 12 months' time, which is people don't want to pay Vlahovic what he wants. Clubs are willing to pay 20-25 million for Vlahovic, but I feel like his demands are ludicrous. So I feel like Juventus, with the whole Vlahovic situation, they would be finding themselves a solution for now, but it's more of a temporary fix. You're going to have the same problem 12 months later. Okay, so that's the Vlahovic situation. Douglas Luiz, it's being reported that he's been offered to Manchester United in exchange for Jadon Sancho, which for me is ridiculous. Like, it's actually ludicrous. It genuinely makes no sense. I'm still of the mindset, keep Douglas Luiz, give him 1 more year, because the quality is there. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm actually pretty surprised he didn't play any more minutes in the Club World Cup besides the first game against El Ain. So that's the Douglas Luiz situation. And then the fourth is Nico Gonzalez. It's being reported that Nico Gonzalez is up for sale. But once again, it all comes down to how much Juventus truly value him and how much they want for him. If they feel like they want to try and recoup the majority of the money that they spent on him, then he's not getting sold. I'll be honest with you guys. He's not getting sold. Put him up for 20 million. Maybe a club will take a gamble on him. But these dudes need to go. I'll be honest with you guys. Nico Gonzalez needs to go. Coop Miners needs to go, but I feel like Coop Miners is going to stay because they can't generate even 50% what they spent on him. So in terms of assets, you're better off keeping him, hoping and praying that he has a good campaign. Because at the moment, I don't see many clubs even offering Juventus 20-25 million for him. Based on his performances, even at the Club World Cup, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what the future holds for somebody like Coop Miners. He's going to have to play out of his skin next season to try and prove his worth. Because in my opinion, I don't even feel like he's done enough lately to even be on the bench. The only reason why he's on the bench is because there isn't the best of squad depth. But if Juventus had good squad depth, I would look at somebody like Coop Miners, Nico Gonzalez, and say, you dudes aren't even good enough to be on the bench because you haven't even done enough. Like, you have to earn your spot on the bench. Just the same as you have to earn your spot on the starting 11. And I feel like last season, both of them were starting games when they didn't deserve to be starting. Both of them were on the bench. But in my opinion, they didn't even deserve to be on the bench. Like, I would genuinely rather give Coop Miners his minutes somebody like Adzik. I truly would. But I don't know what the future holds. Hopefully, someone comes and grabs them. If not, next season is going to be a deciding season for both of them. Now, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on another one.